going on down there.
Awesome.
She's also a little under the weather, so it's a good combo.
Oh, yeah. As you're getting everything going, the high school graduation I went to, that I posted the pictures on Discord of the Hulk
Mm-hmm.
pinata. So that was homemade by the kid who graduated high school. His father made that,
Oh, wow.
and we had the standard, kids hit first, and anytime they did their 3 hits, we would just throw candy out there because it wasn't filled with anything.
Oh, okay.
And but then it steadily got to a point where it's like, okay, the kids aren't doing enough, so we need to start bumping up
We
the
need the heavy
ages.
hitters in here.
Yeah. So we had like the high school students start to do it, and they weren't doing anything, and then the adults started getting into it, and at this point there may have been some, drinking, whatever.
Oh, sure. A bunch of adults being like, oh, sure, I guess I'll take a swing at it if I
Yeah.
must.
And that was how the broomstick got broke, because one of the guys swung so hard that it sounded like Hulk got shot. I mean,
Oh, no.
the snap that happened when that thing broke was amazing.
That's wild.
So, and then we just had, we ended up busting off the legs and the arms as that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one kid who grabbed the feet and put them on like shoes and was running around the park with it. And then another kid had like the arms, and he was too short to have both arms because they were too long. So he would have one arm, and another kid had another arm, and they're like sitting there like kind of swinging at each other just a little bit. And then they put it all on one kid with like the whole chest piece and like feet and arms and stuff. It was a fun time.
That's great.
And the kids loved it because, like I said, every time someone hit it, we would just grab handfuls of candy, just throw it out in the grass.
Right.
Like, there you go.
Right. Gosh. All right. Are you guys ready to get started?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
All right.
Yes.
Let's start in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast, aka TVGP. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hi.
And the Imp.
Hello.
A quick programming note here. For you're going to be on podcast vacation over the next 2 weeks. Yay! So we're going to be off doing our own individual things, and we are going to have 2 mailbag episodes for you over the next couple of weeks. Big shout out to everybody that sent in a bunch of questions. I didn't think we had enough. Then we pumped out 2 2-hour episodes. So you're going to get a ton of mostly not video game content over the next couple of weeks. So if you want to hear us talk about everything, of course, including food, then that will be the next 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
We're not going to be live streaming because we won't be here, but there will be video versions up on the YouTube channel, so go check that out for all that.
Also, some things were said that immediately became time irrelevant.
So check out the news stories of this week. So a hopeful prediction of ours actually came true the very next week. So
it seemed very time relevant because what we were hoping was going to happen happened. So.
Right. So the only things that will not be airing next week are Outcasts and We Roguelike It. So both of those will be taking 2 weeks off. So if you're a patron, patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones are numbers.
That stuff will be taking the next 2 weeks off. If you're listening to the public feed, you're not yet a patron, that stuff will be taking off in, We Roguelike will be taking off in 2 weeks from now. Also, if you like the mailbag episodes that you're listening to over the next couple of weeks, that's the Outcast. That's the Outcast, just without any prompts, over on the Patreon page. So that's at $2 and up. That gets you all that stuff. We just talk about random whatever. So if you like that stuff, you really should become a patron. You can get that. That's exclusive to the Patreon. The Supernatural Watchcast, The Wayward Sons, that's also exclusive to the $5 tier or higher. That's clipping on along over there. A bunch of new episodes got scheduled for that. That's going to be coming out over the next month or so.
I can't believe you didn't say driving or rolling. Come on,
I was right there. You can also get the Critical Misses production meeting. That will be going on in the next couple of weeks, I think. No, it'll be going up a day before season 21 airs, because the patron air date of season 21 will be important for reasons that you'll see when that airs.
The important thing is, don't worry about it. We got you.
It's coming out.
Yeah.
Don't you worry your pretty little head about it.
And during the podcast vacation, you will still get your weekly dose of Critical Misses and Wayward Sons too. They are not taking a break.
Yeah, they are still going on over there. And over on the Patreon, you get that early access to Critical Misses, and we work like it over there. Again, the recommended tier is $5 a month. That is per month, not per episode. If you have your rich friends, please go tell them it is per episode and pay like $2,000 a month or something, because we put out a ton of audio in there. And I always forget to mention this, we don't delete any of it. So we're not like, oh, you only get the outcasts for this month and then they go away, they're exclusive. No, we have like 150 outcasts over there. So if you want to sign up now and go listen to all of that stuff, it's all still up there. So you can enjoy all of that right now at patreon.com/E1M1.
No one to know us.
All right, Moon, what have you been playing this past week? Hi, Louise.
I have a custom pop filter apparently this week.
Yeah, it's a cat butt.
What? I don't even know what she's chasing. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't play a whole lot. I did play a fair bit of Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, let's talk about Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah. Oh, did you keep playing it too?
No, I didn't really have the time this week to play much of anything, but I really wanted to play Ghostwire Tokyo because after our Game Club episode where we were just like...
Which is in the feed now. You should probably listen to that too.
Yeah, go listen to that if you have played the game or played enough of the game, because it is also a spoiler cast like most of these, most of the Game Club episodes, but we all came out of it sort of being like, yeah, I like this game a lot. We should keep playing this Ghostwire Tokyo, man.
So I figured I would give it a month before I actually started playing it. That way we can start hitting back on the podcast.
I'm more than happy to talk about it whenever.
Oh, I know, but my son is also playing it, so I'm waiting for him to beat it. And yeah,
and it makes me laugh that like the video Boston is playing on the feed for the live stream version of this is literally one of the moments he calls out in the episode.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite moments. Yep, accidentally went to it. It's pretty good.
This is the biggest strength of that game, which we discussed in the episode, is the side missions. So I went around and I wrapped up all of the side missions. Still don't have the achievement because I need to find those dang tanukis. That is considered a side mission.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why.
There's a lot of those tanuki in there, man.
There is. And in the process, I found the DLC side mission that Newsom was talking about. So it's a series of missions that takes place in a school. That is the DLC for the game that you get included in the Game Pass version.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what did he refer to that thing as?
Mr. something.
Yes, Mr. Parts, Mr. Happy, Mr. I don't know.
Mr. Bones, something like that. I don't remember.
It's a really interesting like set of missions because it takes the first set of missions is finding these bunch of seals, and in the process of finding the seals, an anatomical model of a human being comes to life and starts following you around.
It's like
is that the thing that you took a picture of?
Yeah,
in Discord, I think it was.
Probably saw the picture of,
or Twitter, maybe. I don't know.
Mr. Guts, that's his name.
Mr. Guts. There he is. Terrifying.
But he only he's like the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who, if you're a Who fan, where he only moves when you are not looking at him.
Right.
Oh, so he's Mr. Peanut from SCP.
Yeah. So, not at all terrifying.
Not at all. Not when you hear that plastic on tile footsteps really booking it towards you.
Oh, that's terrifying.
You have a really good sound system, and you hear the jingle of his plastic guts coming towards you.
Such good sound design.
It's not terrifying in the slightest. I swear, I wasn't panicking like a child every single time I turned around, and he's right in your face.
Oh man, that's great.
If he catches you, he kills you too, which is
Wow,
just
okay.
perfect.
Goodness.
And he does it by wrapping his guts around you, and it takes over your screen. It's just this horrifying thing. And his face comes in from above, upside down, and right in front of you. It is genuinely a horrifying sequence. Musen was right. Like it's so terrifying the whole time because you like. My favorite thing is you start doing the whole thing where, okay, so you only move when I'm not looking. I'm just going to close this door, and then you're trapped in that room.
Right, I gotcha. Ha ha ha.
And then you go around a corner, and all you can hear is someone hammering on a door.
Oh no!
And then you hear a door open, and those plastic footsteps start again. It's just
that's really great.
Super tense. And then the mission directly after that is a spirit who you cannot look at, otherwise it kills you.
Oh, wow. I mean, we wanted this game to be a little bit more spooky.
It flipped it.
Sounds like it's got it.
That whole sequence is absolutely terrifying. I'm honestly, at this point, I'm mostly just doing the collectible stuff, which is running around, getting a bunch of upgrades. I feel so overpowered at this moment in time because my health bar is like halfway across the screen. I've got millions of updates.
Your health bar's got multiple colors now.
Yeah, pretty much. Which I don't know if we talked about it in the show, but I love the concept of that, where like when you use healing items, it increases the cap of your maximum health. That's a really nice touch.
Yep.
Which is really appreciated. This game is great.
Ghostwire Tokyo is really cool.
Around the city.
Yeah, I the game is great.
It's been my go-to of like, I've got 30 minutes. I'm gonna glide around the city rooftops like Batman, collecting spirits and dealing with the things that happen. And I bumped into your yokai, Boston, the long-necked creepy thing that goes through pipes.
It's a weird one. Like it's a little hard to follow.
So that's something that I figured out is there's like 7 different kinds of yokai, and when you find the first one, that's when it spawns the rest of them in.
Yeah, like unlocks them all in the map. Yeah, it's interesting.
So I found your one. I found the squirrel with razor blades on his arms too, which I don't know if you guys found that one.
I don't think I found that one.
My favorite is still the wall. Like I don't care. The wall is
really great. Yep.
I can't even remember what other yokais I found. Who knows?
Yeah.
But like the story in that game is whatever. Like it's the
fun.
side missions, it's the world building, it's the how do I get past these tree roots so I can get more spirits. And that's pretty much.
I think we talked about it in the Game Club episode, but I think the story is fine, but it had a pretty satisfying ending, which I think made it okay. Because it's not the story that kind of sets the world on fire, but I felt pretty satisfied by the end of it, which is not usually how that goes.
Yeah, it had a sequence that elevated it. Something we've talked about previously with TV shows, movies, whatever it is. If you have a solid ending, it elevates the whole. If you have a bad ending, it lowers the whole.
Right.
Yeah. I think this one had a pretty solid ending. Don't get me wrong, it's no Metal Gear Solid 3 or ending or anything.
Right.
Pull that trigger. You have to do it kind of moment. But no, overall it's been fine. It's like literally I'm gonna load it up, glide around, collect a bunch of spirits, do some side missions, get some yokai, do a bunch of upgrading, and then call it a night kind of thing.
Right. Only 100,000 spirits to go. Let's go.
I'm at 170,000, 75,000 now.
So close, getting there.
Yes, eventually I will get there.
Yeah,
but it's been cool, and the photo missions add a little extra, like where I'm looking at those photos now and trying to solve the photo hunt missions too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
and I feel like I've also figured out the combat enough to where I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm a boss man. There's not a whole lot that shows up that can bother me anymore. Right. I even willingly jumped into the parade of demons just to see what it did.
Yeah, what did you think?
It was cool, and I kind of broke it because like I saved the string thing until the last wave. When you do the slow-mo thing. I saved that till the last wave and then just wiped them out real quick.
Yeah.
It's a solid game all around, and I'm enjoying just using it to like wind down. It's like cool, collect 20,000 spirits and then call it a night kind of thing.
Yeah.
I did also play Marvel Snap because of course I played Marvel Snap.
Their new season?
It starts this upcoming week. I suck at this game, for the record.
Okay.
Like a lot. I suck at this game. I'm very curious as to what Boston is playing on the stream right now.
This is the developer update for June 2023, the Spider-Verse season.
Okay, I was like, because Into the Spider-Verse came out this past week.
Yeah.
The second one.
So that's this upcoming season. Okay, that's kind of cool. I don't know. I'm back up to 73 after being down to 62 at some point. And shock of shocks, it's my MODOK deck that keeps getting me them wins.
That's right. It's a workhorse, man.
It's like I go and I experiment with a different deck and then I lose like 17 ranks. So then I have to change it up and go to a different.
MODOK's always there for you.
Mm-hmm. He is designed for cuddles, apparently, is what I'm hearing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's been a decent season so far. It was a 5-weeker, so I was like, cool, it's 5 weeks. I'm going to try and get to infinity. No, I'm not. I'm just not that good. I'm not.
I like your optimism,
I haven't had the time. I haven't had the time, the patience, or the mental capacity to do so. Like, that's been the thing that's killed me this time, which is whatever. It continues to be a game that I am enjoying playing despite myself, which is whatever. The only other game I played, and it could be considered the return of the Mac, I am playing Dead by Daylight again, because I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I love Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Like,
Old Faithful.
I mean, it really is at this point. Like,
you got all excited about the Nicolas Cage DLC and
that's right.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we can't stop talking about it. We just want it to be 5 Nicolas Cages, 1 killer, and 4 survivors. That's it.
That's right.
It makes no sense that he's going in there, but sure, let's throw him in there anyway. There's been like 2 more killers since I last played, so I'm glad I didn't run into any of them because I wouldn't have the faintest clue how to avoid them. Like, I know the standard operating procedure for dealing with the Trapper, for example. I know the standard operating procedure for dealing with Ghostface. Ghostface, the standard operating procedure is you lie down and you just die because screw Ghostface.
Except to death.
Yes. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. The game is fun. It's had a bunch more updates, so now on the survivor side of the screen, it has this like heads-up display which tells you what everyone is doing. So if you're healing, it shows a healing icon with how much it's healed. If you're doing a Jenny, it shows a Jenny icon with how complete it is.
That's cool.
It's a really good visual indicator, so you don't have to go into the toxic as hell chat to try and.
Hey guys, what are you doing? Bleep 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 bleep. Okay,
yes, bye. Exactly. If they could use AI to censor some of this stuff, I'm sure they would.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean, there's a reason Dead by Daylight is featured frequently on screw quotes, like that and beat 'em up fighting games. But it's Dead by Daylight. It's fun. It's stupid. It's enjoyable to just go in and just play a couple of rounds. Sometimes you have good rounds. Sometimes you have bad rounds. The final game of the night, though, a friend of the show, Rob, was the only person to not escape because he sucks at that game. He is terrible. And thus continues the night of throwing shade at Rob, which literally we spent all night just insulting Rob. that's the whole point. It's a chill game. We get to play with the friends that we chit, we chat, we talk. When something important is happening, then we know and we listen. And then when nothing important is happening, we chit and we chat and we talk. Like it's
right.
It's a good game for that kind of flow of chit chat, chit chat, chit chat. Stuff is happening. Stop talking. Then more chit chat. Like
keep comms clear.
Exactly.
Right.
Like it's. I've heard you say that to me too many times.
Hey, sometimes we got to call out, 15 different symbols in a Destiny raid.
Yeah. And I don't know because I don't do the raid often, so therefore I just get confused.
Right.
I don't know. It's just a good solid go-to of like, it's been a while since we played this, so let's just give it a go. Oh, yeah. Hey, 10 gig update later. Now we're finally playing.
Yeah.
Well, other than that, it's been wrestling. There's a lot of wrestling happening right now. A lot of wrestling happening right now. Forbidden Door is right around the corner. I'm just saying. Like, it's right there.
At Moonpier for more wrestling talk.
Yes. Should we do a wrestling podcast?
Nope.
I'm just saying. It's there.
We're at capacity.
I don't know, Boston. I could get you into wrestling.
That's the problem. You probably could.
Yeah.
I'm
just saying. Anyway, Nimp, take us away before we literally create a new show.
I mean, we already did kind of in one of the other episodes by accident as well. But
that's true.
So my kids and I played Smash Brothers a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was my son, my daughter, and myself. I am getting my feet back underneath me for Smash Brothers a little bit, but my son just constantly plays it all the time, so there's not a whole lot going on. Between us, my daughter still has the unfortunate timing of every time I go to attack my son, she just shows up in front of me and takes all of my attacks.
Get down, Mr. President.
So we did try doing some like us versus him kind of things just for a little bit, and unfortunately every time I do like a big attack, she would just be right there.
What's going on over here?
Yeah. But she was doing pretty good herself. I almost completely took him out with playing Kirby.
Oh, nice.
Which makes sense because he's God tier.
Right. Kirby's always the strongest.
Yeah. The only reason I didn't win was because I lost track of where I was at, and it was too late for me to realize that I was too far away from the platform to get back.
That'll do it.
Yeah. But yeah, Smash Brothers always in the rotation, never far from our hearts.
Right.
Next game, Angel, I and myself played a bunch of Battlefield 5. I am really liking how this game handles.
Nice.
I don't know. I said this last time too. It feels a lot more steady and easier to fight. Like, not everyone feels bullet spongy.
Oh, okay.
And the more that we've played it, the more I get the feeling of every time I die, it's actually my fault. Like Taylor Swift said, it's the problem. It's me.
That's right. That's right.
But I'm having a lot of fun with it. And the building is just kind of stupid where I just get like, hey, we took back B for like the third time, and now I'm just going to stand here for 20 minutes and build up like all these sandbags and this ammo crate and all this. And next thing I know, I'm the only one there and the enemy's back. So now it's my job to defend until everybody comes rushing back to help.
Oh, man.
Which has worked out several times. I cannot tell you the amount of times I have been run over by a tank.
Oh, yeah.
Just for them trying to get into the building that I'm hiding in. And then I remember very violently that, oh yeah, these are destructible environments. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. I've been just playing as the medic, running around with the SMG, which feels really good at short to mid range. And I can pop off decent warning shots at pretty far range with this thing.
Oh, okay.
Enough to at least make a sniper duck for a moment. That way I could run to cover instead of being out in an open field. But yeah, there's just a lot of fun. I don't know why everyone seems to hate 5.
Yeah, I don't know.
The general consensus online being that not everyone likes 5. And I get it. It's World War II. I am not a fan of them constantly going back to World War II.
Mm-hmm.
But this one feels really polished. And maybe when it first came out, it didn't. I don't know. I wasn't there for that. So maybe that's what a lot of it was this may have released broken. But right now, if you haven't played it, I go back into it and check it out.
It seems like it's in a good spot.
Yeah, skip the story mode stuff, but do the multiplayer stuff, because there's been a ton of things. We're like, one time, Angel, I and myself were up in a bell tower, and we jumped out of the bell tower because nobody else was around, and we get down to the ground, and a plane from the enemy team crashes right into the bell tower to destroy it.
Oh, jeez.
And if we were like 2 seconds late, we would have been dead. But it was a great position for us, and I had made the comment earlier, kind of surprised no one's blown this up yet, as we're sitting up here taking pot shots at random people.
And what's that noise off in the distance?
Yeah. So I mean, you get all kinds of cool and different situations in this that I haven't seen. Well, definitely not in a battle or in a Call of Duty game, but even in the other Battlefield games, you don't really get like the varied environments and stuff like that you do with this. So it's been a lot of fun to play. But yeah, that's it. 2042 was fun, but now playing a lot of 5, I'm liking 5 way more than 2042.
Oh, nice.
But who knows? Maybe I'll get back into 2042 and all of a sudden be like, oh yeah, no, this is great. I love doing this stuff.
Right.
Getting shot in the back 6 different times. I did not get shot in the back a bunch of times this last week though. So that may be why I'm feeling so high on this game.
That's right.
Next game that I played is Diablo 3.
I have every one of my friends' list has got Diablo. Like anytime I kick up my Xbox, it's Diablo all the way down.
Well, I didn't remember that Diablo 4 was coming out at the start of June when I apparently started my fun little crusade of doing the platinum for this.
Right.
So I've got my sorcerer up to 70. So I have moved on to the barbarian.
Oh, nice.
I'm saving Demon Hunter for last because everyone talks such a high game for the Demon Hunter class. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna
it's my favorite. I don't know if it's the best, but
it's always the ones always in conversation are Demon Hunter and Necromancer.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And you don't hear anyone talk about any of the other classes.
It makes me really bummed that Demon Hunter's not in Diablo 4. It's a real It's a real shame, yeah.
Oh, maybe DLC character.
Yeah, there you go. Sign me up.
Yeah. So going back through this as a barbarian now, starting out, the barbarian is kind of like a crap class.
I feel like it has a really difficult start.
It definitely felt like it.
Yeah.
And even outside of just having like my three attacks instead of the full spectrum, it didn't feel like I was doing a whole lot. It's skill, like the first skill you have is like a stomp attack that didn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah.
And then you had, I think the next one was a shout, which doesn't do much of any. It doesn't damage the enemy, and I think vanilla, it only stunned them, or maybe it prevented them from doing as much damage as normal, or something. So it was
nothing
weird...
nothing like here's a big area of effect damage thing.
Yeah, it wasn't anything great, and it took a while before I feel like I'm now at a point where all of my attacks are slotted in where I want them to be. It still doesn't feel great, but I've got my regular X is just a cleave where it's everything in front of me gets hit, and then I have the modifier where if something dies from that attack, they explode, and the explosion will spread across to other enemies as well.
That's
so you get a nice little effect going there. The stomp one I have now, where anytime anyone gets hit with that, I believe that decreases their attack towards me, the damage. The shout I have set so that way I do increase damage to anybody in the shout radius. There is now my R1 that I just unlocked where the ground just catches on fire. I think it's called like Tremor or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Where the ground beneath me just erupts and then it just stays as like a fire pit.
Ooh,
and I have a modifier on there. Is when I have that activated and I run around, I leave a trail of fire behind me, and that does tons of damage so far. That's my ultimate for this class so far.
Right.
There hasn't been a boss or anything that I haven't used that on that I don't drastically see their health dropping.
Yeah.
Using that.
That sounds pretty good.
So I mean, it's now starting to work out and it feels better. I'm gonna play around with some of the other stuff because I know a lot of people talk about the barbarian using leap to get to like different parts on the map, which I haven't tried yet. So I'm gonna check that out and see what that goes to. But right now I am towards the end of chapter 2. Yeah, towards the end of chapter 2. It's all starting to blend together now because I've done it so
especially
many times
chapter 2. I think that's the weakest one personally.
Yeah, and what is it? Chapter 2 has it where it's like you get to the end of it and it's just a bunch of just follow this trail to look for the thing, but it's a maze.
Yeah.
And then chapter 5 gets that too. Before you fight the boss, it's the same exact thing where it's like follow this stupid maze.
Right. Find the symbols. It's like, please.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have to find the sigils for the ram, so that way you go fight the Reaper in Act 5. This one, I'm looking for the parts, so that way I can get betrayed by the one ghost that we brought back. So then I can
the evil ghost I'm trying to resurrect. Oh no, he betrayed me. It's like, sure did. There it is.
It's the weirdest thing ever. But
yeah.
So yeah, the timescale that I've been working with so far these last couple of weeks, I should have Barbarian to level 70 by the end of this week, and then Demon Hunter at 70 by that week, and then all I have left is I just have to craft 100 items and do 500 bounties.
Okay, that's not so bad.
And then the last one was I have to have one character where all of the equipable slots I have legendary or higher set to level 70.
Okay. That's not too bad.
I thought I had that on my Crusader, but I don't. That my Crusader has a bunch of rares that are level 70 on it.
Oh, sure. I mean, the nice thing is when you're doing those bounties, you're just bound to get all that stuff along the way.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I figured too. It's like, all right, once I get all these characters level 70 and get that one, I'll just go back to my Crusader and just do nothing but bounties and then just craft 100 things, and that should finally put me at where I'm at for the platinum. So
yeah, it'd be nice because you can do like X number of bounties every day and zone out and just kind of get it done over time.
I sit here when I have a moment because I'm not kidding. I don't think while playing this game.
Yeah.
I have died 3 times now as the Barbarian because I've zoned out so hard that
you stopped clicking on the enemies.
Yeah. But all I do is I just run around and kill stuff, and I've got like a TV show or I'm listening to something. Like I am just completely checked out playing this because I'm usually so stupid tired, and I'm just trying to unravel before I go to bed.
Oh, that's so good.
Which was something I posted in Discord too. A bunch of you on my friends list have gifts.
Yep. Go check your Diablo 3 mailbox.
Yeah. I don't remember who because I wasn't keeping track. And it was weird too because I don't know if that's only something that happens in adventure mode or what. Because for the longest time I wasn't getting anything, and then all of a sudden it's like I just keep getting gifts randomly for people.
I think that only happens in adventure mode, I believe.
Okay. So that may be when I'm doing the final to level 70 grind at the end for each character. So yeah, there's a bunch of you that just have random gifts from me. So
right. Go check it out.
Probably doesn't mean anything now that 4 is coming out. So. Right. But yeah, that's all that I've done this week.
All right.
Besides curl up in the fetal position and cry sometimes.
That's right. While you're playing Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that happens at the end of every day that ends with a Y. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. The normal stuff. Things.
Yeah. 2 quick ones here for me. Destiny 2, the season continues to trek on. Story-wise, seems like it's moving in a fairly solid direction. Gameplay-wise, there's nothing really significantly new here. We did get a chance to do the new dungeon, Ghosts of the Deep. This one's a tough one. the first encounter is actually really cool. It takes place in a really, really large area, and a lot of it you're kind of hopping in your Sparrow and going from point to point, kind of taking down a series of difficult enemies to get something, going back to the middle area and dunking it, and then kind of repeating that thing. It's Destiny, so you're still like picking something and dunking it. I thought that was actually pretty good. It's immediately followed by probably the worst traversal section in any Destiny thing.
That's saying something, dude.
Yeah, I don't say this very lightly, but it's inherently not that bad, because essentially the interesting thing about this dungeon is you're going to Titan, and a Hive ship has crashed into the methane ocean, and it's way deep down in there, and it seems like something bad is going on because it's Destiny. So you have to make your way down and into the ship and then kind of figure out what's going on. So it makes sense that you open up the way at the beginning, and then for a really extremely long amount of time, you're going from one underwater section to another, descending down towards this ship. And the main problem of it is it's just so long. There's so much running to get down to the point where you get into the water. And then it's one underwater section after another where you move slower, you have no double jump, there's no combat, you're picking up the, like, Sonic the Hedgehog air bubbles. And by the time you're kind of done with an underwater area, you're like, all right, I finally got out. You like take a couple of steps and there's another underwater area, and it just keeps repeating until you get down to the next area. It's just too long.
Is it like that one section, I don't know what part it came out with, but where you are in a forested area and you're surrounded by darkness and you can't run very fast and you don't have any of your abilities and you have to stand next to like these towers to get the darkness lifted from you for a short period of time?
That was in Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. It's kind of like that, but you don't
just multiple levels of it.
Yeah, like you don't have the only thing that's going to kill you is the pressure underwater and the lack of oxygen.
You don't have a bunch of things chasing you the entire time?
Right, you don't, which makes it a little bit better, but like also in some way kind of a little bit more boring, because it's like, oh, I'm just traversing from point A to point B, I just need to hit all of the air bubbles on the way. Thankfully, when you're done with that area, it spits you out into the first boss area. So like as soon as you're done with that, you're right there at the first boss, who has a bunch of really cool mechanics. And I appreciate, there's kind of two different ways Destiny does mechanics for raids like this, where either you're kind of doing the keep talking and nobody explodes kind of thing, where the three of you are relaying information to each other so you can do all the mechanics. It doesn't do that in this. It does the thing that I prefer, which is each person is doing their own thing that all kind of works towards the boss being vulnerable. I kind of like that, because everybody has an important role to play. All of those mechanics feel really good, and they repeat something similar for the second boss. But the really frustrating part is there's no time limit on the mechanics to get the boss vulnerable, which is great. But then when you go to do boss damage, each of the bosses has a huge, like a shield that has a ton of health. So you're taking a bunch of time to take that shield down, and then you're doing damage to the boss. But the boss damage window is pretty short. And then we were doing stuff where we're taking multiple minutes to do the mechanics to fight the boss to take off 10% of its health. And then it's like, all right, 6 to 10 minutes, let's go do the mechanics. That's really frustrating. And it seems like an easy fix of all of that stuff is fine getting up to the boss. They just have too much health. If you can decrease the amount of health they have, so you need to do less waves of it, that feels like it'll be a lot better. So it's kind of like half of it is really good and half of it is really frustrating when you go through all this stuff and you kind of scrape together all these mechanics, and then you do the boss, and then like the boss teleports a bunch, or they're super wiggly, and you're missing your shots, and then you do almost no damage. It's like, back to the start. Let's do all this stuff again. So I'm hoping they make some changes to decrease some of the boss health, because I think that will make this dungeon way more rewarding and way more fun to do. Because like halfway through the final boss fight, we were like half an hour in to that boss fight, and I'm just like, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, guys, but I'm not having any fun doing this boss fight. So, and for someone that really loves Destiny, that is usually kind of a pretty bad sign. So, everything else is pretty good. Destiny continues to kind of truck along like usual. And I spent about as much time as I could this week playing Tears of the Kingdom, because I'm just continually finding more things as I turn over more rocks in that game. I've been trying to...
Quite literally?
Yeah, quite literally. I'm finding a lot of Koroks going, yeah. I have been trying to spend more time in the Sky Islands, because I realize I haven't really spent a ton of time up there. And there's a ton of stuff. I actually found a bunch of diving related time trials, which I didn't know about. And they gave a pretty good reward for doing all 3 of those. And they really genuinely were not that hard. So that's been fun. I've actually found a couple of shrines up there that I haven't really done before. I need to go back to the tutorial island, because I have a sneaking suspicion that there's probably a bunch of hidden stuff in there now that I, have the glider and stuff like that. I have more than 3 hearts, and I know how to use the powers, so I can probably get up to some mischief up there. So that stuff's been really good. I took the time... minor spoilers here. Took the time to do the second dungeon. That was really good. I liked that. Just like the first dungeon, that was really very good. I kind of liked the mechanic of getting up to the dungeon and then solving the puzzles in the dungeon. That was really good. The boss fight was pretty annoying, but I think I found a way to not exploit it, but kind of like get around the frustrations by the time I beat it. So that was fine. I'm largely just having a lot of fun spending time in the game and just kind of going to, like, teleporting to a tower or a shrine and saying, I haven't been west from here. We're just going to go west and see what we get into. And then getting into a whole bunch of side quests and missions and mischief and all that. I did finish all of the newspaper quests this week, so I got the anti-slip armor that they are purporting at the very beginning of that.
Nice.
So that has been great. I'm working on upgrading that at the Great Fairies and seeing if that will do anything cool. Because the Great Fairies are always like, boy, if you have a bunch of armor that is a set and you upgrade it to 2 stars, something might happen. It's like, well, all right, now I gotta upgrade that. Okay, cool. So I don't know. I'm having a blast. Not a lot of huge major things I'm doing. Just trying to do shrines, trying to do side missions and stuff like that, and just having fun. So I'm gonna bring my Switch with me during our trip. So hopefully I can kind of continue to play this while we're out. And I did play a little bit handheld, and it seemed to work fine. So it seems like it. If I remember correctly, when I read it, that it decreases the resolution to 720p when you have it handheld, and then it seems like it runs fine. So I'll take it. That's great.
I think that's what Breath of the Wild did too.
I think a lot of games do that, where it's like, we're just going to keep the game running and we're going to move it down to 720p, which seems fair. It seems like a good idea. So, all right, that's all I've been playing this week. Let's take a break. Now I gotta find where I left show notes. There they are. Hi, little guys. Oh boy. All right. You guys ready to wrap this up?
No.
Ooh, big stretch.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's let's talk releases for the week of June 6th, 2023. Diablo 4, talked about earlier, comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC. The pre-order early access thing was this past week. This is the full wide release for everybody. Want to mention I've played this game for literally 30 seconds, so I could create my character and get in and create the clan. So I did create a clan. Someone already took E1M1, grumble, grumble, grumble. So the clan is TVGP. Search for it. The clan name and tag are both TVGP. Go and apply for membership there, and I think there's a couple of us that can approve, because there's no way to just say like everybody can join if you find it, so you gotta apply and we gotta approve it. So we'll do that. So
we'll check your credit score and make sure you're good to go.
That's right. Yeah, we'll look at did you get the platinum in Diablo 3? Like what is your what's your Diablo 2
That's why I can't buy this game yet, because I'm working on my platinum in 3.
That's right. You got to finish the first book before the next one.
You gotta know where you came from.
That's right.
Did you put the gem in your forehead or not?
That's right. Did you make the big mistake? Yeah.
I have 1 and 2 down there for PC.
There you go.
We'll go through everything.
I put the gem in there. Yeah. Next up is Harmony: The Fall of Reverie comes out on Switch and PC. This is coming out on other platforms. I think later this month. This is Dontnod's new game. The original Life is Strange creators are making this interesting animated adventure thing that I've actually kind of been trying to stay a little bit dark on, because it's a new Dontnod game, so I want to check it out, because they make rad stuff, and
they made Vampire,
we've got all the good stuff. So very curious to see. I'm probably going to wait to pick that up until it comes out on the other platforms, because I'll probably play that on PS5. But that seems cool. More Dontnod. I like it. MotoGP 23 comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series console, Switch, and PC. I don't know anything about. You're not here for MotoGP. Why did I put that in the releases? I don't know. If you're interested in it, you already have a pre-order. Yeah. So what do we need to talk about it for?
I like Formula One. I might like MotoGP. You don't know.
Yeah, well, that's fair. That's fair. And last but certainly not least, a game that Nimp and I were trying to figure out what this game is. Loop 8 Summer of Gods comes out PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. As you can probably guess, yes, this is JRPG. It's also a combination visual novel, and it was published by Xseed and made by Marvelous. Yeah, so if those two
the graphics on that thing look crisp as hell.
Yeah, it's a very cool style. I'm very curious to see what this is, because this looks very neat.
Boston and I definitely I have never heard of this, and then Boston mentioned it, and then we went into like a deep dive of pulling up pictures and trailers, and we're like, man, this is like early Persona, Tokyo Xanadu,
right? Some PS2 business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nimp was like, oh, it's Xseed and Marvelous. I was like, there we go, perfect. How can you go wrong? Only news story we have this week is it was recently announced, I think in the last month or so, that Waypoint, the Vice gaming arm, although really wasn't that associated, Austin Walker and Patrick Klepek founded, was going to be shutting down on June 2nd, because also Vice is filing for bankruptcy. There's some bad stuff going on over there. Yeah. And Vice was a bad home for Waypoint kind of consistently, so there was a silver lining.
When they end the podcast with F Capitalism and they're part of the Vice Media Group, it's just
F Capitalism, go home. Yeah, did not like that. So we've all been kind of mourning the loss of Waypoint overall, and they did their final Waypoint stream on the 2nd, and at the end of it was, by the way, all of this and everybody is carrying over to Remap, which is essentially this, but we own it
under a new
now.
Umbrella.
Yeah, and we own it now, and we're running it ourselves, and all of this continues pretty much the same as it's been. It's like, fantastic. That is incredibly excellent news. So Remap is going to be their new thing. Seems like if you were signed up for Waypoint Plus, most of that stuff gets carried over anyway, so they kind of inherited and carried over that stuff, which is super great. It's really great to see all of them kind of continuing to do their thing. They have a cool setup over there and a lot of cool people doing really great stuff. So it's nice to see. Also, Patrick Klepek is starting to put a bunch of stuff on Substack. I've always been a big fan of his writing, and he posted a bunch of stuff this week as kind of a peek behind the stuff he's going to be putting out. Some stuff is going to be behind a paywall, and a lot of that stuff is really good. Behind the paywall is going to be a bunch of like parenting and video game stuff, and the first one he posted about was about Roblox and kind of struggling with how to manage Roblox and keep your kids safe and monitor the content they're playing and how you would deal with all that. I thought that was really good. I highly recommend getting that.
Yeah, they don't, as someone who already dealt with that with their daughter and then read that article like years after, they don't make it easy for you. It's doable, but it's not easy.
Yeah, so go check out Remap. That team will probably continue to be doing some pretty cool stuff. And unfortunately, that's the end of our pretty cool stuff for this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including a link to the Patreon page, patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones are numbers.
The content keeps on flowing over there while we're on our podcast vacation. Don't forget that we'll have 2 honestly very good mailbag episodes coming up over the next couple of weeks. We hope you sincerely enjoy them. We had a lot of fun recording them. Of course, they turned out to be super long, like they usually do. But you gotta spend a lot of time talking about Foodcast. We don't get to do that a lot, so you gotta make the most of it. I think that's it. So hope everyone has a good couple of weeks. No live streams here for a little bit, but go check the YouTube channel for all the videos. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye. And you can still catch us on Discord.
Yes.
Maybe.
Come join the Discord. All right, Nimp. What do you have for titles?
I have Podcast Vacation, Custom Pop Filter, Still Looking for Tanukis, MODOK's Always There For You. This next one I shortened a little bit.
Okay.
I know the SOP for the Trapper.
Okay.
We Chit, we Talk.
Mm-hmm.
And at Moonpier for more wrestling talk.
Moon, what do you
have? Those dang Tanukis, Accept Death, Keep Comms Clean, and Normal Things.
I have MODOK's Always There For You. The Hannah put one in title in chat, Bleep Bleep Bleep. The one I like a lot, We Chit, We Chat, We Talk, and Podcast Vacation.
Yeah, I'm good with We Chit, We Chat, We Talk.
That's my personal favorite. I like.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Circling.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Man, all right, I like it. All right, starting in. It's right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 815 for June 5th, 2023. We chit, we chat, we talk.
We talk about all the things we like to do.
Visit our store to buy your own placard that says, We chit, we chat, we talk.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. We'll see you on the next live stream.
I got a better one now. I got a better one now. It sucks.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks for another live stream. Hope everyone does well. Until then, bye.
It's the live, laugh, love of podcasting.
That one is pretty good. Curses.
Oh, well. Bye.
Yeah, what a shame. Bye.